On page 146, you talk about how LaRue Moore was a community treasure as a teacher and a community leader. Her salary of $32,000 lagged behind the $48,000 in free use of a Taurus that Coach Gaines received. What do you think about the discrepancies in pay 25 years later? For example, Bob Hanna made $106,000 last year for coaching Midland's Irmo football team, and Nick Saban makes $7.1 million. As a college professor, I make less than that.
Well, I mean, you know, on the college level, it's obscene, which is why I advocate. I think high school players coming out should be free agents, and I think there's a way to do it. I think they should go to the highest bidder, and they should get as much money as they can, because at the end of the day, it's not Nick Saban, as good a coach as he is, or Urban Meyer. It's not these guys who win those games. It's those kids on the field who get paid a paltry sum, and everyone says, well, they're getting a college scholarship. Well, they are, but they're encouraged really not to use it, and they're pushed through classes. There are all sorts of scandal, like University of North Carolina, and the demands on them are such that they don't have time. Now, I know, because I looked this up, the average salary, high school teaching salary, I think, is about $50,000 in Texas, and the highest paid coach in Texas, I believe, is Lake Travis, $136,000 a year. That's just football. Does not teach a course, probably gets a car. God knows what he gets in turn. He may get, you know, a cut rate on his house. $136,000 a year. It's insane. And not only is it insane, what does it say? And what does it say about Nick Saban, about the community value? What's more important, the football coach or a great English teacher? It's the football coach. It's football. And that's the center of the spoke. Still, in too many schools. I mean, it's been said repeatedly, and I feel sorry for them. Allen, Texas built a high school football stadium for $60 million. $60 million. And frankly, it fell apart. The foundation crumbled, and they had to rebuild it. Katy High School outside of Houston built a 10,000, 12,000 seat stadium for $58 million. What do they need it for? Now, the community approved it, but we're in the state of Texas where they're constantly arguing and they're constantly dwindling resources for education. Because, you know, coaches move on, coaches get other jobs, coaches make more money. What do these kids get? What do these kids get? So I say free agent system. Go to the highest bidder, and they'll say, well, that'll create a system of haves and have-nots. What the hell do you think it is now? What do you think it is now? It's the same thing. There are 5 schools, 6 schools, 10 schools who make the biggest money and get the best players. Let these kids make a dime. Let these kids make a dime.
Dr. Orr, I know you have another question as well.
You got me all worked up.
It's appreciated. It's obviously still a tremendous passion of yours.
It is, you know, because I see what happens not just to Boobie, but to these kids. I think it's a form of modern slavery. I don't know how else to say it. It's a form of modern slavery, and it's aided and abetted by the NFL. This is the best thing that ever happened in the NFL. They have a free farm system. Baseball, they got to pay for it. Basketball, they're developmental leagues that the league pays for. A free farm system. So you know what? Let them pay for the money they waste. Let them pay $1 billion a year, which they can afford with the money they make, into a general scholarship fund. Because now they sit back and they watch these players develop, and they don't spend a dime on them. And then, you know, how many go to the pros? How many make it? And you know what? Fine. Maybe you make it to the pros. You know what the average shelf life is of an NFL player? I think it's 3 years.